Oratory performance remains the signature of Deborah Jean-Baptiste-Samuel as she's steadfast in her creative flow of original poetry. Flourishing from bud to its revelation, exhilarating in its culmination. Rooted and robust is the inspiration, secure and stunning in season, embracing fruit is the declaration. Another in the series finds release as Deborah now presents Oratory 26, Among the Trees.
Bush have ears. Out here, tree and leaf atmosphere. So I glad bush have ears. That way, many of whom I am unaware will hear. A quick question for you to swallow. If I plant you, you will grow? You need not ask that about trees. Trees will grow from crown to apex overflow with ease. Among the trees, hearty, immaculate seed, growth, progress, supreme among the trees, ordained tranquility, nourishment, sanctuary, among the trees, among the trees. Now all this need to translate into humans until it vibrate, because the doctrine have to operate and we have to assimilate because we're in a sad state. You know, trees for growth is upward, outward growth. Humans, we on mode deflate. We don't know about elevate. No, we on sadness introvert, not growth, no mirth. And growth is what we need to concentrate on. Watch what you cultivate, because the fruit does not fall far from the tree. The child in school cursing consistently till it reach disciplinary feature. So the teacher called the mother to explain. You know, the mother cuss out the teacher and ask what she calling her in the school for. This is in vain. The child cussing. Mommy support will make mommy support. Yes? Seed reproduces after its own kind. Be sure to keep that always in mind. Another thing, what you sow is that you will reap. So no shock or bewilderment steep. No. If you sow weed and parasite, there will be no mango or tamarack. No, only blight. We have to understand the principle, because among the trees, it is proper example. Oh yes, so you have up that you can replenish. The bounty, the positivity can make you become astonished. You know, trees are really poems churned up from the soil. Metaphor and imagery embroil. Tree will grow from seed to sapling, seedling, tree, in the midst of turmoil. One thing with trees, you have branches protruding, you have young ones producing. It is a fascinating concept in synergy among the trees. Growth is important. Huh? You know parents can't get their children to grow. And when I say grow, I mean develop, mature. No. So what you have is children just getting big. They don't have anything of substance teaching. You know, they have many people so. They never mature. No sense, no confidence, no discernment in store. And so when winds of life blow, you know what to do, they do not know. In any conflict, no resolution can flow because they never grow. It have plenty of people so. They just get big. Huh? Not trees. They think topsy-turvy now. Trees, they start off small and in degrees. They will grow with trunk wide and root deep. And then they will bud and flower and produce fruit. Now think topsy-turvy. People playing big, but there is no maturity. This is among the trees. Trees will grow despite soil imperfection. You know, it's not so with human. No, with human you have a problem. Oh, they do not like the soil. Huh? They do not like their environment. Or in their early years, all of that contributed to their detriment. Listen, trees have no time for that sentiment. Trees will grow, towering, while humans are cowering. Because you see, they have something called root, and the taproot will go down like a taproot tap dancing. And in all the sequence of sustenance, the roots are prancing and spreading out. And this tree is getting taller and taller and stronger and stronger because it have foundation requirement. You ever hear branch fighting branch on a tree? Huh? No. But you have that regularly in family. Brother fighting brother. For land especially. Yes. You don't understand how trees make room for each other. And trees grow together upward stronger. You ever hear trees in the forest and they have no room? Huh? No, this is a human problem. Where you find family cannot agree. So brother fighting brother for land. But branch and branch could exist beautifully among the tree. Huh? You tell me, 3 brothers come into my office and they bring a deed. They want explanation. So I explain the content of the deed and the concept of joint tenancy and the right of survivorship. I explain it all easy. You know what one of the brothers turned and tell me? He said, ma'am, so that I understand, for me to get this land, the 2 of them have to dead. You hear what I just said? You see how greed is the ingredient in his demise? Well, I sat back, I shake my head and see how he introduced murder in his demented compromise. This don't happen among trees. Branch find a way to exist in harmony. Let me tell you about trees. Is xylem and phloem operating in tandem? Is bark on trunk and vein on leaf emblem in the system, is a harmony, is a synergy among the trees. Branches spreading wide. You know humans cannot understand that concept because they are afraid to venture wide. So they remain no confidence, no faith, no belief, everything suppressed. So there's no purpose-driven zest. But look among the trees, everything flourishing in degrees. Trees take in contamination. They convert and produce oxygen. They call this photosynthesis bliss. You know, humans take in contamination and it's set like rigor mortis. Even trees understand how to choose life. Humans, we tangled up with a set of strife. And as we go along, you will understand that trees have an intricate system underneath. The root network, they reciprocate, they cooperate, they get nutrients underground that they can share so that they will all benefit. Trees doing that, humans not doing that. We segregate, we discriminate, and we decide, and we selfish, not trees. Trees provide shade, trees provide fruit. Trees. So the trees grow tall, dignified. Beauty cannot be denied. Reveal your presence boldly and inspire with a purpose you possess. Trees. This is the unspoken mantra as trees reveal themselves. Flowering, flamboyant, immortal, petria, pui, resplendent in awesome beauty. And you know, there are some trees producing fruit, most importantly. So it is the promise and the purpose in proper pursuit, because fruit institute the future forest tribute. Inside every fruit there is a seed, and when planted that seed, there grows a tree to produce fruit, and that provides seed, the complexity and the enormity for the longevity. Oh, bush havers, I glad. All who have ears, let them hear. So I know this is not going to remain in thin air, because it will linger around for people contemplation. So bush havers, that way the multitude I am certain hears. So among the trees, hearty immaculate seed, progress and growth supreme among the trees.
I have been here for centuries, sustained. As the river laps at my knees, blessed am I in degrees. Bountiful fruit and evergreen leaves. I stand here steady, unmovable. My roots go deep, unshakable. My life source, the river's riches saturate, blessing responsible my prosperous state. A tree planted by the rivers of water, yielding fruit in due season, in divine position, no other reason. My leaves do not wither, with all I do, I prosper. I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved, just like the tree planted by the waters. I shall not be moved. Fixed, firm in foundation, fed and fulfilled at my location, hoping each passing generation will be inspired by the river's wisdom, ever flowing, moving forward, a victor in the midst of strife, cleansing all toward renewal, refreshing and teeming with life. My branches beckon, come, enjoy the river run. You will marvel and understand the symmetry of nature's plan. When nourished by the river, you will flourish. That living water will sustain and replenish. Flowing, it will not falter. Growth is promised. You will not perish. In all you do, you will prosper. Secure, like a silent sentinel, I survey all who come near well. From my shady branches, I glimpse some watching, never touching, but others plunge in, wet and dripping from the thrill of blessing. The river of God is a fount of cleansing and refreshing, springing, steady and constant, ensuring there is no lack or want. So do not be content to just dip a finger. Come, linger longer to discover the possibilities of His increase. Stand tall, stand strong. In His flow is where you belong. Privileged position, planted by the rivers of water. In all things, you will prosper.
Trees talking. Listen. Each morning, leaves glisten. Blessings of dew, mercies anew. Trees are majestic organisms involved in the production of oxygen. It will be wise to listen to the breath of their conversation. Trees talking, breeze wafting through their leaves as trees sing of their victories, bending but not breaking in a storm, trunk expanding, bark fresh yet worn. Extraordinary organism, trees, roots going down, way down in operation, sharing resources to the younger generation. Mother Tree Hub is sending sugar and nutrient down. And the language, semantics, is phosphorus and nitrogen. And trees understand who among them related and function to fill to the brim. They distribute substance from the root. They will feed and heal, and no surrounding tree will be in need or destitute. Remarkable feature, photosynthesis. It is for trees its signature. Carbon dioxide, conversion into oxygen and sugar. You need to understand the gist of this called photosynthesis. What is meant for poison can convert to revitalize and energize. That which is detrimental can be processed to produce an oxygen exercise. Trees are doing this daily without effort. It is the forest responsible for a good air report. Trees are talking, listen, and underneath is a noisy station. Roots carving railroads for transportation of nutrition. Sending, channeling, all for tree intelligence, minerals sustaining, and sending enzymes as warning in defense mechanisms. Trees are doing all these things. The Bible says trees offer shelter, food, healing, and medicine. Trees talking, listen. And when fruit trees get into a rendezvous exposition, well, now is creation. Because suddenly, Sapodilla realized Balata is a distant cousin. And Tangerine and Tangelo and Pass and Brown related to Orange and Portugal. Well, Mango Tree in her conversation will be precise. And it comes as no surprise, for she has to be wise as she protects the bounty of her enterprise. Or Mango will expatiate with philosophy, because Mango realized immediately, just like people have personality, Mango have variety. And so Mango is probably looking at us in Mango terminology. I could describe people in Mango terms too. Yes, they have some. They starch. Hard to deal with. Harsh. They have some spice. Oh, they're warm and considerate. They have some calabash. Oh, they're round. They have fun. Then they have some zabiko. That is zessas, and they alone know what they have going on. Then they have others like cutlass, those with criminal intent. And they even have dudus, those with affinity for everybody. And do not forget, we have important ladies, Rose and Julie, very vital in the Mango family. So you see, it is easy to understand, just as people, fruit can have variation. Yes, people like fruit, like mango, some sweet, some sour. What you will do? You understand that that is part of the nature. Now, this mango tree, talking a long time, you know, Kitchener the Calypsonian composed a whole song about the mango tree. Yes, you see, the mango tree was talking about a strategy to keep safe the fruit in her bounty. And school children passing on the road and pelting stone at the mango like they're crazy. So, Kitchener was in tune with what mango tree was saying. And as the mango fall, Kitchener gone, boop, boop, boop below. You know the song. And he say, and when the children ball, When they thought was mango, is my branch may fall. Boop, boop, boop below. Mango tree talking. A Calypsonian was listening. Oh yes! This thing about fruit trees talking is ingrained in truth. Yes, this is in scripture set. In the book of Judges chapter 9, read it when you get some time. Start at verse 8 and go down to verse 13 straight. Oh yes, fruits were having a time, verbal banter and backchat for the fruit tree lime. Oh, they were discussing selecting a king. It's right there, go read it. So, olive tree say, what me? Give up my fruit and olive oil indeed, used to anoint men and flow in holy libation, to have position, to have sway over trees. Fig tree say, what? Give up my fruit, so wholesome and sweet, to have sway over trees. The vine say, give up the fruit, my grapes, making wine in variety, to be leader and have sway over tree. Listen, when my mind contemplate what was going on, I say now if trees could talk in truth, I would love to know what else they will contemplate and relate. Because branch will talk to stalk and stalk will talk to flower, telling flower that in the future what fruit is in store. It will be very interesting. But you know something? This thing called family tree, I think trees should sue immediately for misrepresentation using such a holistic and positive image to represent family, because what going on is really delinquency. You see, that may have worked in the last century, but now, oh no, it is not easy to understand the imagery of a tree to describe generation to generation of family. It gets too complicated. One man makes so many children with so many different women. He can't use imagery of tree. He needs something like centipede. It's a whole mess. And you know, they say all trees having them is sap. And they're so organized and dignified with that. It's man who need a brain transfusion, because brain supposed to be superior to sap. And he cannot organize his business at that. So trees in conference and conversation. Oh, it is fantastic when you understand. Trees understand that there's a divine plan. Oh, the problem is man. Trees line up. Trees by the river flowing, and the tree will bear fruit without falter. The leaf will not wither. In all that it does, it shall prosper. And man can't understand to line up with that. Huh? Well, I now understand why the Bible says, the trees of the field shall clap their hands. The trees are in applause because they realize divine order and plan. They understand. The problem, I tell you, is man. So over the centuries, dispelling mysteries and theories, trees talking. Listen, please.
Is only mango tree with mango on it does get pelt. It's my mother I hear saying that, and you know she right. But that don't mean you're going to sit down there in panic and fright talking about I ain't going and bear no fruit. Don't be a coward. Get straight to the root. Don't sit down there in despair. Instead, make sure you bear. Let the tree of your life be laden with fruit, both green and ripe. Ripe so that they could see what they're pelting, and green so that they know it have more fruit coming. Don't fret that, because all who pelting, they have nothing on their tree growing. Let me tell you something. You see this thing about growth, it ain't no joke. Plenty people living out here without understanding their value and worth. All their talent, it buried under the dirt of fear, lack of faith, and folly, denying themselves of the opportunity to freedom and mirth completely. But you see this thing about producing fruit, it ain't no simple matter. It's real toil and agriculture. To get things growing and producing fruits of substance, you need sincere effort and diligence. Start by clearing the land from stones and rubble, things that could cause you to lose your balance and stumble. We need to clear the land of our mind from hindrances of every kind, things like the bush of depression, low esteem and deflation. Prepare your soil and aerate so that within you, purpose could begin to activate. And when you see seedlings start to grow, recall every sound doctrine that you know, for wisdom is still the best fertilizer, and prayer and the word of God is the water. And when seedlings start to sprout, prop it up, encourage it, speak promise into being so that you can have your produce in the time of gleaning. And don't afraid parasites. You see all those things that come to drain the sap from your life? Old weed, overgrown greenery, people who only looking lush but contributing to misery. You see, weeds could kill. And if you let them, they will. They could literally tie up your whole life, have you in a mess and only suffering and strife. You see, and I'm not talking about the kind of weed you could smoke in a joint, but I'm talking about the ones that will overgrow you just to prove a point. So while you have a voice, make the choice. Deal with opposition. Don't stand up there playing nice and polite, asking questions with wickedness and demon. That is why you have cutlass and you have rake, so that you could cut down and scrape every parasite and blight. Things that pretending to wish you well, but their main goal is really to make your life a living hell. Untwine every bad vine. Allow goodness to grow in your mind. Prune and water. Pray and nurture. And when you see a start to flower, hold it down, partner. Because right there is the next problem. You see, people just get confused. They see a little flower and they get hyper. They don't understand that a flower is simply an indicator that fruit is a possibility, not that it's ripe and it's ready. That is why plenty people out here could never enjoy their fruit, because you're jumping about, boasting about you have flowers. Meanwhile, you're losing petals. Do not boast about God's blessings and bounty until you realize you start having fruit in plenty. Only then you could bask in the sunshine of His glory. It's only mango tree with mango on it does get pelt. Analyze the statement, for it's really a compliment. You see, all the fine fruit that you produce is what causing them to want to pelt and loot, but warn every wicked brute to find their own fruit. In the Bible, in the book of Psalms, have it there. If you're ever in a jam, it is very clear. Ignore wicked men. Keep God's law your delight. Meditate on it, both day and night. Be like a tree planted by the river of water, yielding fruit that your leaves may never wither, and in all that you do, you may prosper. Just remember to have courage like reinforcement, for it's only mango tree with mango on it does get pelt.
That the Caribbean is blessed is no dispute. We literally have an alphabet of fruit. Following the letters from A to Z presents a reflection of our prosperity. Look at it. From A, we have ackee, red and juicy, though not a berry. And as part of a meal with saltfish, it is very tasty. That dish was made popular by our friends in Jamaica. Now move to B, banana and balata. Banana features in pastry, pie and punch. Balata and not banana is what monkeys love to munch. And folktale is told of monkey eating balata, being wooed by a greedy alligator who promised to take her where balata was plenty. But balata have brain food and she escaped his advances safely. But as you see, I can stray on a story. So let me continue with this alphabet quickly. Now we move to the letter C. Chenet, cocoa, châtaigne. All particularly slippery, sweet but squishy. With D comes downs, which can be green, yellow or brown. In chow, it assumes vigor and verve and is really tasty as a red preserve. E. Enjoy it immensely. F. Fig and five finger, a fruit people seldom remember. Yellow with 5 prongs extending from the center. In use and in shape, it is a star. G brings us to gru-gru, grapefruit and guava. Guava is a champion. Varieties range from red to cayenne. Guava juice, guava duff, guava cheese, guava jam. H hurriedly takes my mind to hog plum, sour to make you shudder and close your eye. But it makes a potent homemade wine. I will keep sober my mind. J. Jam and jelly can be made from almost every fruit. K. Kaimit, the fruit with the milk exuding from it. L is a long story of lacatan and lime, pickle and pepper, whether hot or sublime. Lime juice to drink in blazing heat, and the squeezed lime is perfect to season meat. Mami support and mango takes us to M. Mango, mango, mango. Mango ve, mango teen, mango ve, mango teen. I want a penny to buy mango ve, mango teen. Give me penny to buy mango ve, mango teen. Mango comes with variety like a dictionary. Rose, starch, dudus, calabash, down to zabico and cutlass. N, automatically nutmeg, a fruit and staple for the people of Grenada. known among the spices for its aromatic flavor, children in Grenada threw a rhyme note. The lady in the boat with the red petticoat, yellow hollow case with a coating on the sea called mace. Oh, in the family of citrus, orange is king in taste and colors. P is the letter in the alphabet with a monopoly on the fruit in our bounty. Pomsite, pomerac, pawpaw, plum, pineapple, passion fruit, Portugal, all can make punch, juice and jam, with pineapple and pomsite featuring in Christmas ham. Q, question that is really hard. What fruit begins with Q? That query might take me to the next century. Meanwhile, quench your thirst with juice made from any of those fruit in P. R, ruku to eat is dread. All your fingers and mouth turn red. S is truly sweet. We have sugar apple, sapodilla, soursop and sorrel. Soursop makes the best ice cream you've ever had, and sorrel remains the drink of Trinidad. Tamarind and tonka bean will tie up your tongue. Good. T is the letter we now on. Tamarind ball and tamarind sauce. Tangy delights as appetizer or with main course. U, V and W I put together. U and V are letters very hard to contemplate. Well, W is for watermelon. I could eat a whole one straight. X was difficult, and so was Y, but Z makes me smile. Z for Zabuka and Zabiko. Zabuka is another word for avocado. And so we end where we started with A. That means my poem is ended, but I really want to stay among the trees where I can savor and sway and tell you other fruit delights in a Caribbean way.
If life is a banquet, how come some people ain't eat yet? Come, taste and see that the Lord is good and his mercy endures forever. Eat of God's provender. Yes, not crumbs. We are so blessed in this nation. Even in a dry spell, tribulation, we have proper nutrition. Eat, come, taste and see. We are being fed for flight. That is correct. Even if you have champagne taste and mobby money, you could eat properly. It's only if you choose to survive on dregs instead of delicacy. Oh, but my God is a God of plenty. He is Jehovah Jireh, the provider of every need. I cannot understand when God have food exquisite, why it is people choose to eat biscuit. Let me tell you a story. After World War II, a man decided, because England was in such a state, turmoil, he was going to America. So he saved all his money and bought a ticket for a ship to America. He took his clothes in one bag and in the other, cheese and crackers. Now, the English say crackers is biscuit and Trinidadians know it as cricks. And he's on this ship in his room eating biscuit. But he's smelling food. He's eating biscuit for days and smelling food. When he couldn't take it any longer, he went out of the room and he asked if he could provide any labor, if there was any work he could do on this ship. so he could get a little money to buy some of that food. He saw such a sumptuous fare laid out there. They looked at him. They said, "Sir, the cost for your ticket included all meals." You hear what I'm saying? This is real. Many times we are unaware of the abundance that is possible, and eating biscuit for a meal. Oh my goodness, so great salvation. And you have to understand that he came for we to have life abundantly. So why we eating crackers and cheese? Look at the birds. They understand it better than us. Birds are being fed for flight to demand from life more, to say, we saw. Now, not every bird, eh? I am not talking about parrot. Parrot don't know anything about that. Parrot is a mimic. Nothing original. He hears something and he will pick it up. That is parrot. We're not dealing with that. We're not dealing with chicken either. Chicken is getting fed to dead to end up in a pot to fatten somebody. Huh? Chicken living on scraps. We're not dealing with that. We're not even dealing with a ground dove, because a ground dove is a very perplexing, troubling, a peculiar bird. The ground dove is equipped with wings and prefers to walk. I can't understand that at all. Giving up your bird's eye view, soaring to heights, and heights spectacular too. And the ground dove with wings prefers to walk, and people will throw crumbs. And the ground dove is happy, believing that is his due. I'm not talking about that. The birds I'm talking about, that understand to demand from life more and to soar. You see the hummingbird? Now that bird is feeding on nectar. That bird understands bread of life and living water. Is moving speedily from chore to chore, accomplishing all tasks in order. That is the hummingbird. This is a bird who recognizes that the enterprise, the engineering tactical device, is to discover and embrace more, to demand from life and to soar. The scarlet ibis is another bird. This is a bird about refinement. The scarlet ibis is very selective. That bird will not eat rubbish. It is crab and shrimp and freshly caught fish is of the only interest to the scarlet ibis. And that is because it enhances maturity. That bird will grow and envelop into robust splendor of color. And that is how, as it matures, it absorbs and has that robust red color. These birds understand what they eat is responsible, interior and exterior, as they meet their purpose in this life. Another bird is the banana quit. The banana quit lives on fruit. We need fruit of the spirit to savor too. Because Kiskadee and Blue Jean will have berries and seeds, and Coquelicot over in Tobago, well, he will eat mango. And you have purple honey creeper and green mot, and they have one thing in common. They both eat a lot. Hearty. Come, taste and see that the Lord is good and his mercies endure forever. You see that bird called the eagle? That bird is magnificent. The eagle is no wonder chosen as a symbol of strength and dignified honor. The eagle will not eat stale food, fed for flight. Get that right. The eagle eats fresh food every day. The eagle is a bird, he does not fly, you know. The eagle will soar. Oh, mercies are new every morning. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. The eagles understand this. An eagle is a very peculiar bird. And an eagle is not afraid of the heights. An eagle is fed for flight. An eagle will soar above the storm, calm as ever. That's the eagle. So in this life, we are being fed for flight. We have to do like these birds, to demand from life more. To not fly, to soar. No more crumbs and dregs and biscuit. No, no, no. God has food exquisite. And so we demand from life more as we soar.
In fine fettle, in mind and body, fine form incredible, fit like a fiddle, hale and hearty, and in the pink of health, preened and pulsating with strength. Stay strong. I talking from experience. Hold on. Bad news could make you sick. Betrayal could make you catch a tizzy. Ill-timed events have the word ill in it for a reason. It's to cause you to double over and have you sick for a season. Tragic reality could weaken you to infirmity. Calamity could lead to real malady. Like when I was writing an examination at a particular institution, I was expecting a grade A, no hint of doubt, until I got a call asking, "Did you write the exam? We cannot seem to find your results." I said, "What you talking about?" Blood pressure increased to its peak. I started to see red. Supposed to be focusing on other exams, but now I studying this instead. Oh, too much in my head. It had a trickle-down effect. Fever, fatigue, stomach pain. I wondered what could be next. Bad news and stress had me in a mess. Until 3 days later, I got a call. "No worries, sir. We have found your exam paper." You see, after that, I realized I needed a health plan to be able to have resistance and stand, because stress for me could be a fatal complication. Stress could magnify to stroke and heart failure. Not me. I will continue my health procedures to buffer from disaster. Pray for strength and relief. That is a good start. Live well, eat well, sleep well, use your gifts and talents. That will keep you healthy. Faith in God is the only strategy to keep you immune from infirmity. And you see those well-known illnesses that exist, like diabetes, hypertension, jaundice, leaves from trees that God listed in the book of Revelation have healing properties that could put your body back into rhythm. For example, diabetes. We have Barbadine, Kakashant, Karaili for hypertension. We have Wakano, breadfruit, candle bush and calabash for fever and pain. Carpenter bush, fever grass, chandelier. And no need to walk around with pain from menstruation when we have twef, zebapic and zebafam. For any skin condition, an infusion of tea Marie and Lady of the Night. And lemon bud tea is good for baby gripe. Stomachache, cozy maho and orange peel tea. Vomit, dite pei. Diarrhea, shining bush and guava leaf. Constipation, shadow benny. And if you're looking for a pick-me-up, boil leaf of soursop. And of course, neem is good to correct malfunction generally. You see, there is leaf from tree that can heal disease. That is why I am fine like fettle. Mind and body in fine form, in fitness incredible. Hale and hearty and in the pink of health. Preened and pulsating with strength.
Meters, 3 inches. That is the measure of the infringers, violating the boundary, repeatedly monitoring my property and finding errors with the land equation. This is a transgression, an invasion, calling for urgent rectification. Cannot handle this concept, this bold encroachment. So, the boundary mark will move mysteriously by these hands with dexterity and will creep in and claim my land gradually, silently. But if you say one word, I will blow a fuse, make noise, I will call the police and claim verbal abuse. Fed up of this frantic frenzy muse, my vocabulary will go from classic to vernacular. They will have to hold me for terror and misdemeanor with this trespass and nuisance disaster. Walking the boundary daily, he's saying I moved the mark. But it was in the wrong place from the start. So yes, it was moved quietly. You move it back. As such, it will be moved repeatedly. 2 meters and 3 inches of land is the issue, calculated in accordance with my purview. Obvious nuisance. Using my land is an interference. And you have those bad dogs there with ferocious bark, barking whole night while I try to move back the mark. Unreasonable. Barking while they should be asleep, preventing solace and my family's peace. But don't worry, I will plant on my piece. Not short crops, only long-lasting fruit trees. Not pimento or tomato, no. mango, coconut, avocado. And when fruit reach, no neighbor here is to seize, because I will swing this cutlass here like breeze. This quest for land is serious, and I am not sitting silent on trespass, not pretending to be this pleasant neighbor while tolerating your behavior, taking it all the way. I hope you feel the pinch, because I am not backing down on my 2 meters and 3 inch.
Why you don't mind your business? Eh? Watching over here like a witless witness. Your mind and mouth are menace. Disassociate your mind. Remove the magnet in your eye that drawing you to my side. Keep your eye by you. It too wide. Eh? Trying to broaden your view, your scope, aiming to take my river. Ha! Remove that hope. Concerning my farm and property, it is off limits to you and your calamity. You could try obeah or necromancy, but you will not interfere with my boundary. Come in here, talking about trespass. Man, get your deed. Better yet, get a compass. You will see it bounded north, south, east, and west, printed bold in black and white. Try your best. You trying to make what is easy complex. You could understand English and legal terminology. Well, I find your well bold-faced to be putting word like trespass in your vocabulary, because the only thing that trespassing here is your brain for sure. Going boldly where no man has gone before. Over the limits outrageously. Crossing the boundary line dangerously. Is a bridge in truth, yes? That's separating insane from insanity. I fed up tell you repeatedly. Read your deed and forget the greed. I mean, oh gosh, man, is madness yearning for what is not legally decreed? Trespass. Legal terminology. Well, I hope you understand the word covet. That is biblical philosophy. Covet. C-O-V-E-T. To yearn, to possess, to wish for earnestly for something that is not yours. And brother, let me tell you, that is in the scriptures. In the Old Testament, book of Deuteronomy, thou shalt not make false testimony. So partner, let me make it easy. You mustn't lie about trespass in any form or degree. You just remember that you must not covet your neighbor's wife. You shall not seek to desire your neighbor's house, his land, his male servant, his female servant, his ox, his donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor, for that is against the scripture. Look, don't be trying to complex my intellect and make me bombastically vexed. If it's more land you want, do some real estate, buy a next plot. But you will not self-destruct here with stupidity. Covet, and paid shall be the penalty. And watch me, we still in Deuteronomy. Thou shalt not move the mark of thy neighbor's boundary. Watch me. Is my father's father secure this land and fix this bridge here? That is 3 generations established clear. You now come and want to talk about trespass? Boy, you want some mouthwash and a good bush bath? It's you who in trespass. You who enter in without permission, interfering with the boundary, creating all this confusion. You see, to you, it's just a boundary. But to me, it's my heritage, right? It's a personal and permanent marker. So you could go and get a chartered surveyor, it does not matter. Nothing can erase the truth that every speck of mud, grain of dirt, blade of grass, it is here under my name and legacy, and if you trifle with that, that amounts to treachery. Watch me. Don't look to have what is mine, right? You're wasting energy and time. Your music, it is out of chime. You want to plant tree? Them is tree you will never climb. Covet not. And you see me, my boundary, and this bridge, do not cross. And watch that. Let we live good now, boss. You just set your desire on what is divine and stop yearning to possess what is mine. Yeah, man?
You looking for something wholesome? How come? You come looking for peas, milk and honey with flowing ease? Is picker your plant? Look for that. When your children was growing, where you was? Every night they in quarrel while you sending sneakers in a barrel, unable to point out right from wrong. Now you come back in style and wondering why the children rebellious and out of hand? Like you won't understand the basic principles in planting land. Don't bother to drop down sad on your knees. If you plant picker, don't look for peas. It's one set of crazy farmers we have on this land, unable to understand God's holy plan. A basic principle anyone can find: things reproduce after their own kind. You ever see zaboka tree bear sapodilla or pamsite make cucumber? So why people feel life is this breeze where they could plant picker and still reap peas? I sit down in horror watching Oprah, hearing people talk about their children's behavior, pelting, kicking and screaming with terror. One say the child have ADD, and next one APT, and all kinds of labels to make excuse for the child acting violently. Another one say the child will throw a temper if the sandwich is not made a certain way, and she has to pick it up from the floor and make him more exactly the way he wants it done. And then she is wondering why this child is so strong-willed and has her quarreling. I say bring back the bull pistol, not for the child that deviant, but for the parent, because stupidity does run in family. Since he was a child, you have him lighting cigarette, and is now you regret? You plant that habit and now it's set. So sit back and reap the fact that he is now smoking by the pack. Don't look to frown, is you he get that from. By the fruits, you know the tree. This is how things were designed to be. So don't come expecting seedless cayenne guava after you plant banga. Understand the behavior to prevent dilemma. Is who fooling who would talk that we living with ease? They want you to feel like we set to reap peas. Put protective gloves on your hand. Is picker they plant on the land? There's a simple policy. In order to reap a grain or pea, one had to be planted previously. So you see this behavior of hoping to eat a bowl of peas when with cold selfishness is only yourself you please. Don't waste your time with thoughts of bliss. You come looking for kiss when you deliver kick and hit her. Prepare your mouth to eat some picker. The same one who trying to out your light now come looking for life seasoned with spice. Peas with onion, celery and mint. When it's picker, they inherit. Don't smile at me. Go home and fix your family. Understand the golden keys. If you plant picker, don't look for peas. With humility, Your prayers will reach his ears. Understand all things he sees and try your best to plant some peas.
This is for all women. Leave an inheritance for your children of courage and honor, of being fed, not hunger. All the years must not add up to naught. Draw water. No longer are you to draw drought. Drought is when you're breathing, not living. Smiling outside while inside you're grieving. Dry, parched, no juice, and relying on useless substitutes. But reaching out and catching the life-giving flow is refreshing, and blessings are bestowed. The image of a woman, all splendor and beauty, yet living a life of misery and futility, is a tragedy. One woman, beautiful, held men under her spell until she met the right man at the well. Here she was, a fascinating sensation, had men like mango in mango season, but really was always distressed and forlorn, empty and anxious from dusk till dawn. All those years she swapped men about. She was systematically drawing drought. Approaching the life-living water, she had an encounter and learned from that day to draw water. Such women still walking about have the right vessel with handle and spout, but spending their time drawing drought. Water is better, so stay close to the well, the pond, the river. That verve and vitality, that spiritual rhapsody will flow effortlessly. One say, don't worry, the man will change. The man wicked, crooked, and bent refuse to marry you. He ain't worth 1 cent. How you changing a cent? Another say, she have certificate and rank, holding down big job at the bank, just to see which man account have big money, so she could seduce accordingly. No string attached. She just want house and property, and visiting arrangements to keep things merry. Who care if the man have wife and family? The wife have the ring. She has the money, plus the complexity. So she smiled stupidly. Never consider if the man drop dead, all goes to his wife instead. In addition, the man had her as one on a harem string of 3, dangling them alternatively. All 3 women waiting for house and property in their name, playing as pawns in a brutal game. You really want to be clever? Get close and connect to the river. Deception and manipulation will draw drought. Learn to draw water. It is what the wise have sought. And some in drought since childhood, try to realize that as fast as you could and come out. The desert of abuse, violence, neglect, pain, fear, anger, disrespect, there lies the ground where drought is kept. What you need is a new lease, and the river holds that increase. It will flow, heal, and deliver. Cease from living in drought. Come, draw water. The river of God flowing from his throne holds a life source we all can own. So good to reside in the Lord's bounty, flourishing, radiant, and free, exploring every inner possibility and flowing smoothly in accordance with divine destiny. Washed by currents of promise, basking in the tides of solace, you develop the posture of the king's daughter. So stay far from drought. Draw water.
Feathers of birds present a science, one where there should be no ambivalence. It is of unique category that the color of feathers signify bird behavior directly. Plumage is the fancy word for feathers, and color relates to the characteristics of the bird it covers. A unique discovery is that birds are color-coded, the thought of feathers for its own sake eroded. Royal colors display distinct plumage, where links to lifestyle are clear and not superfluous. Look at the peacock, king of the colored feather, complete with plumage as a crown, royalty cascading down. Now peacock is male, but strutting extravagant tail, fan-like design displaying plumage, used in courting a female to his advantage. The quiver in the feathers creates a sound of low frequency, oral and ornamental excitement for the ladies. Now when you hear proud as a peacock, that is a concept embedded in rock, for he wants nothing but the best for him and his family, peahen and peachicks all mixed up in the bevy. Well-deserved ostentation, endowed since creation, born with grandeur, not no cosmetic change of color, microscopic crystal-like structures creating fluorescence on feathers. Blue, green, gold, royal colors, all to behold. Look at the hummingbird. Primary locomotion is flight. Let's start with that insight. Now this bird has feet but will not walk, since flying is its signature bulwark. Bejeweled is an accurate description when iridescent wings are in motion. And Trochilidae, biological bird classification name, and there is a Zante in the word Trochilidae, excellence in stunning array. Birds with outstanding traits, high metabolism rate, visual competence enormous, hovers in mid-air performance, has control over collision avoidance, but not the case with humans. You see, we as humans always on a crash course, going off course, making errors, heading down a path disastrous, but the hummingbird, even in turbulence, maintains stable flight positions. You see, the hummingbird is never confused about direction and orientation. Once again, this is not the case with humans. Directions, well, we're sure to lose. And orientation, well, we cannot seem to choose. But this is not the case with the royal birds. They will buzz, hum, chirp or squeak, and you will still know when it is the male that speaks. Now the male hummingbird is never in error, relies on God-given radar to find the sweetest nectar, does not rely on lust to settle for a substandard flavor. In courtship, The male hummingbird demonstrates a dive, a steep, speedy glide, one with the G-force so serious it could render humans unconscious. Look at the scarlet ibis, red in its name. Scarlet is the precise shade. Now this bird relies on carotene, found in the crustaceans on which they feed. At birth, they are a muddy brown color, but adults mature into a fiery red explosion. And there lies the problem with humans. Some of us, we never mature. We never change color. They get old with age, but they remain childish. Now, the scarlet ibis mating rituals include pruning, bill popping, head rubbing, and high flight. And after courtship, partners remain faithful and cohabitant, sharing parental responsibilities from that instant. Now, this is our national bird, protected in Trinidad. And you telling me that as humans, we are yet to learn from the basics of its mannerisms? Protect your young. Be faithful. Look after your children. They need to declare that on the coat of arms. Now look at the flamingo. Red in its brightest hue. Crimson, vermilion, monogamous birds, one partner, sharing parental responsibilities together. Both build the nest for the expectant young. Before they even lay the egg, they already build a mound. Now, flamingo mates in accordance with rainfall, not random exploits of sexual urges. So let me spell it out for you. The flamingo will not mate in a drought. Same concept could apply for humans, but not the case. They will hear is a recession, but they still cuddle up inside, making more children. You see, the color of the feather seems to be the signature for exemplary behavior. Crimson, vermilion, red, blue, scarlet, colors we observe without regret. Birds of a feather behave similar. Much for humans to learn and savor in proper demeanor. If you want to know who is royalty or rogue, check the feather, because birds of a feather does behave similar.
Fruit itself is such a treat. Vital, nutrient-satisfying produce to eat. Often, you cannot wait to peel, you want to bite right in and get straight to the seed. We have fruit of infinite variety. Flavor and natural vitamins, they store plenty. Yes, pineapple, pomsite, plum for sure, pomerac, passion fruit, and pawpaw, banana, sapodilla, balata, guava, all hearty fruit to crave after. But even more importantly, there is fruit of heavenly quality, spiritual fruit to live life more abundantly. Yes, the fruit of the Spirit is what we should have in life's fruit basket. Fruit is to be evident and present in any complete diet. For your glow to be radiant, such an embrace of goodness must be diligent. Love, joy, peace. The fruit of the Spirit is released. Patience. Slow that down to an ease. These are becoming rare qualities. Life now, it is so fast-paced. It's one crazy colossal race. We have to take the time to beg for grace. Patience. Now that is fruit to strengthen the vitals, to reduce blur and keep us conscious, patience and peace. These are the seeds at the heart of fruit that sustains in degrees, prevalent where steadfast devotion is a creed. It is fruit on which to feed. Kindness and goodness. It sounds like something extinct. Now where hate, malice, perversion and kink provides a link to evil and gives enemy forces the wink. Before you get sick, remove any toxin from your system quick with the fruit of the Spirit. Faithfulness. It's massive as a melon. To be resolved and resolute when holding on to the truth, then you are sure you are on a deliverance route. Gentleness. Now the craze is harsh and rough. Only kick down and slap, grind and shove in the songs, in the dances, the vibes, the chants. They are all demonstrative of violence. Abuse is becoming the norm and gaining acceptance. That is why we need gentleness, the fruits for deliverance. Self-control. Now that is a fruit in a class all by itself. It costs nothing, but where it is lacking, you will be an expense. That fruit must by mandate be included if you do not want your sanity eroded. If self-control is absent, then the diet is without enrichment. People doing what they feel, no restraint, everything in excess sordid. No heed to complaint will lead you to constipation straight. That is why we need fruit in ample portion to restore proper body function. Love, joy, peace toward our increase. Patience, kindness, goodness, total abundance, nothing remiss. Faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. The fruit making our best unfold.
I have this stuff to sell. Grass? Understand me well. I am not to blame. They come into me for marijuana, heroin, hash hemp, cocaine. I never tie them or beat them with chain, but they seem enslaved to the game. I am always among the trees, free, but they will pay. Let them mess with weed. Dope it named not by accident, but the dopes will come and make this precedent. So many for customer. I wink, they stop, I deliver. Sales is my trade and fame. To maximize profit is my aim. But on me, cast not your blame. I am making a living, taking substance from their life and making a killing. My product is always in demand. Not my business if it does harm. Cocaine, heroin, every form of grass, hemp, herb, reefer, chronic, hash. The drug calling them. So I say, since drug is their master, let them answer. And the police, they cannot control me or encroach my space. Here, under the trees is a public place. So I will remain mute, money in my pocket, drugs in their system shoot them like rocket, walking around like robot dolls, and every day, another victim falls. So, leave me with my enticing fear. You think I should tell them of this stuff beware? No, pa. Let them come and buy with a smile. They say they want a high. Drugs selling like breeze right here beneath the trees.
I am the vine, and ye are the branches. Abide in me, as I in you, and ye will bear much fruit. These words from the Lord are not simply there for record, but as a love command to all who live for truth, and in doing so, bear much fruit. Every branch that does not bear, on this he is very clear. Cut and throw away, so do not dare. And to the branch with fruit it bore, he clipped and pruned, not to make it sore, but to ensure that it produces even more. If we abide in the true vine, we will be evergreen all the time, with luscious fruits in due season, for all to know he is the reason that we are truly blessed, evident as seen with frequent harvest. I am the vine, and ye are the branches. Abide in me, and I in you, and ye shall bear much fruit. With Christ, we can do all things. Without him, we can do nothing. We will wither and return to ash. But abide in him, and in a flash you will see, he ready to give you all things. His love is so faithful and pure. He chose us for things he has in store, that we should bear fruit and that fruit should remain. Be it any weather, storm, drought, sun or rain, his plan is that our fruit should remain.
Flowering under pressure, in drought, in draining weather, in difficulty, but emerging with beauty. This is the testimony of the flamboyant tree. Under attack and adversity, it is in the dry, in the drought, that the flowers come out. This is the royal poinciana, an explosion of color, flame of the forest and mountain fire, all terms used to describe this tree with flamboyant pride. It is reminiscent of the crocus, detailed in scripture, blooming in the desert. Yes, it is recorded in the book of Isaiah. And even the Joshua tree, it is going to bloom, but the roots go down deep underground, 30 feet for water. Morning Glory, Petria, Immortel, Pui, Cherry Tree, all radiate floral beauty in dismal weather, calamity and difficulty. The jacaranda will deliver a flower, purple to the core, in the poorest soil ever. When I tell you abundance, under is like a purple river of petals. Jacaranda, soil poor. The aspen too will produce flowers, but the roots go down deep below. Flower under pressure. This should be a direction, not a mere observation. to emerge, rise victorious in situations considered atrocious, and to add some color to the environs. Oh, you will do well to remember the power of a flowering tree as an overcomer. You know, the flamboyant is drought resistant, so on the surface facing heat, but cool are the roots underground beneath. And when dry season is at its most intense, that is when the pui is going to erupt in bloom preponderance. All these flowering trees, including lavender, they bloom in the driest weather. It is amazing to find how these flowers emerge. The morning glory may cause you to marvel. That flower will grow in gravel. In climate hot, harsh, arid, will just sport out a brilliant orchid. In soil that is really bad, in mountainous terrain, you know flowering trees can prevail. One interesting point to ponder is several of these trees deliver a purple flower. It is as if to seal the royal status, the conquering efforts, and as if to add as a surplus, several of them release fragrance. So in the midst of calamity and gloom, flowering trees can bear beauty and release perfume. Mountain laurel, Jerusalem thorn, these burst into bloom in the most dismal doom. Even eucalyptus, known for healing cold and coughing, has an exquisite flower that blooms from absolutely nothing in its surrounding. So we have a guide in the crocus. As in the scripture prescribed, we have a focus. Isaiah 35. Blooming from parched land comes a flower. It will arrive. So we in our lives need to be determined to thrive so that we too flower under pressure, well and alive.